Hey guys, it's Heather. Let's talk about ExJW Advocacy. I feel like I'm getting hate in the comments already. But I'm not somebody who easily vilifies another person that disagrees with me. I love perspective, even when it's not my own, even if it's not a shared perspective. And I don't like vilifying people. Everybody's got a redeeming quality somewhere. And there's some factors, is that the right word? Factors of the ExJW community that are kind of at odds at each other. And really the one big common goal is that we want the abuse, the many forms of abuse and watchtower to end. Okay, so let's handle the quick one first. Career advocates. I get comments on almost every one of my videos that I need better sound quality. On the other hand, there's people that do invest in the equipment and the lighting and the space and, editing. Because that's what people kind of expect of them, and they want to do that, and that's okay. And then we do have activists and other topics in our family. And you know what? It was a side thing at one point, but eventually it took so much time and money and equipment and travel and, making connections and lobbying, investigating and interviewing people. The research, dealing with this stigma and the lack of privacy. There's so much stuff that goes into it. If somebody wants to make a career out of that, or if somebody's burning the candle at both ends, it takes money to advocate. The advocates in my family don't live in a trailer in the middle of nowhere either. It's okay to have decent things, but you can't support yourself and do that and do some of this advocacy work. So sometimes the animosity with people monetizing their videos is frustrating. I see where it can be frustrating, because it's you're taking advantage of an abused minority in some people's minds. But on the other hand, I also see the aspect of the amount of time and money and heart and soul and resources that goes into it. And then we get into the animosity between banning the religion, changing their policy, changing the laws, or just plain old raising awareness. Every single one of those may or may not have their place. You're not going to really manage banning a religion, for instance, unless you're in a more authoritarian country like Russia. There's a lot of rights protection that should be there to protect religions from the strong arm of the law. We want that. We don't want to give that up just for this one group. There's a lot of things that I don't want to give up just for a small, on a relative scale, issue. The fact that it will be such a secret that they're Jehovah's Witnesses means you can't raise awareness about the abuse going on in Jehovah's Witnesses, because it's going to be harder to find out that topic. The disfellowshipped and disassociated people, they may or may not get their family back right away. Maybe it'll wake somebody up for their religion to be banned, but the odds are that it's also going to be, they just move underground. They got their persecution complex going. We're still not talking to little Johnny. So it's not, in the short term, it still doesn't really, it will take a long time to accomplish it. And in the short term, it still doesn't really get rid of them. But on the plus side, their growth would be all but halted, and they'll be on the decline. But it's unlikely, and that will also take a lot of time. Ideally, they won't even exist and we won't be having this discussion. And I understand that, and I get that. And, you know, in my mind, I see how devoted and dedicated my dad is and the allowances that he makes trying to speak to me. And on some levels, I would feel really bad if somebody robbed him of that or put him in jail for something that he's going to live and die for, even though he doesn't necessarily agree with everything. Like, to me, there's arguments for banning, but I feel like I don't feel like it's really effective, personally. Changing the law. Changing the law is more of what I personally focus on. That and raising awareness. But we're talking about the law right now. Force them to allow for the addressal of grievances. It will force them to change their policy. It will open up new opportunities to have a lawsuit against them. Yeah. I mean, if you hit your pockets, if the law opens up new opportunities for lawsuits, it opens up the opportunity to hit their damn pockets. And you know that's where they really change things. I mean, they've seen, literally, they see what's going on, all the stories and trauma that people go through. It's on Reddit. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been suing Darkspilver. Okay? Like, they try to open up copyright claims and do cease and desist pretty regularly. If they weren't watching and if they weren't aware of it, they won't do it. But changing the law opens up a big opportunity to hit their pockets, especially if they associate fines with these things. Changing their policy, I know that's what a lot of people are asking for. That's what a lot of advocates and abuse victims are asking for. That's what Candace Conti wanted them to do. She wanted them to, you know, sign up for the automatic reporting of abusers that move into their area. She wanted abusers to be registered and reported so that people were aware of them. They don't even have to be the ones to tell people, but they're on a public list because they were reported. And they won't do it. Them changing policy is only marginally more likely than getting banned. Changing policy just because we asked is only marginally better than getting banned. And it sucks. Because if they changed their policy, once again, we wouldn't be having this discussion. The benefit to changing the policy is that it wouldn't rob people of their faith. You wouldn't have people that don't wholly believe that people that they love and care about are going to be destroyed in Armageddon. You know, there's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses that don't believe that. You won't have so many people that are, you know, in denial that their loved ones are going to be destroyed in Armageddon, or that, you know, they shouldn't be having kids or getting an education or taking care of themselves. Like, if they just change the policy, it would be the simplest thing. We know they're not going to do it. We've got to force them to do it from another avenue. We're going to have to do it indirectly. They don't have the heart or the compassion to do it on their own. And the last one is the one that I know all of us can agree on, is raising public awareness. The more awareness that's out there, the better. There's 14-year-old kids on Reddit who are like out there looking for support because the awareness effort has worked. They know. They're not getting baptized. They're looking for support on, what to tell their parents in order to not be forced into getting baptized, because, Jehovah's Witnesses don't force anybody to do that. It's a personal, whatever. The awareness is working. Like, they've been banned in Russia. There is the Royal Commission that happened in Australia. If this lady doesn't turn already. Canada has opened up a different investigation. Like, no, they approved a lawsuit. Like, the awareness effort is working. The awareness effort has people who never were and never will be Jehovah's Witnesses advocating for the ex-Jehovah's Witness community and asking the people at their door questions to make them think and to try to wake them up, regardless of the fact that they never experienced the abuse themselves. Like, no matter where you are, the awareness effort is going to work. Banning would be a struggle. Getting them to change their policy is almost never going to happen. And I have animals loose on my little farm. Crap! But you get the picture, and I have to go chase down some little four-leggeds. I'll be back.